final bit of this pod, and if you're watching on YouTube, also give us a like, subscribe, and follow. So basically, East of Scotland League is our favourite one on this podcast due to Mr. Andy Dixon, also with Pennycook, myself, Lithgow Rose, and Mr. Kieran Hunter is an advocate to go to every ground in that setup. So here we go. Big, massive results at the weekend there. Dundonald 0, Lithgow Rose 1, Pennycook 2, Blackburn Rovers 4. Also, he said it the other way about. Just
Blackburn Rovers?
Blackburn Rovers, aye.
That's a fucking massive result.
Blackburn United.
To be fair, that's a good result for Pennycook.
Yeah, it's not a bad result, eh? Musselburgh? Fuck's sake, man. Musselburgh 0.
You want us to
Hillabeef 2. Wow. Good result for Hillabeef there. They're needing to climb up the table, and to do it and still at home away to Musselburgh, is a massive win for them. Hillabeef 3 games in hand at the bottom of the league, 13th, 12th, and 11th. They're only 3 points off. 3 points off 13th, and 4 and 5 on 12th and 11th. Basically, they need to just keep winning, and they will be sorted for the end of the season. Musselburgh has slipped up big time, though. Their push for the title has taken a big dent. I think them and Jeanfield and Socky were the 4 teams that were only able to maybe do something with Lithgow's title challenge this season, but unfortunately, with a few bad results, it's put a wee dent in that one there. Certainly,
I wanted to know how they knew that. I tipped them to be the closest challengers to Lithgow.
They did, and that result at the weekend is just...
They never fucking released.
Yep.
I was adamant that Musselburgh were going to be the team to catch these, but...
Yep. Obviously, Socky, Jeanfield are still in the mix a wee bit. Obviously, they can close the gap. It's 9 points, but the Rose need to obviously just lose the 3 games, and obviously it's game on. But the goal difference for the Rose is massive in the Rose's favour. The Rose have signed another midfielder. Also, the release of technically the signing from Broxburn for Callum Bremner, the midfielder. Also, Lithgow lad himself, quite a surprising move. Paul Gillespie, full-back midfielder. He comes from Cambus Barron Amateurs Football Club, but I found out he was a starlet for Alloa's youth system. Got a really bad injury and went on loan to Camelin. Well, wouldn't you know, when Gordon Herd and his management team were there along the road. And basically, he is one for the future. 21-year-old. Big jump from amateur football, but this guy played against Dundonald there at the weekend and was man of the match, supposedly, from every plaudit at the side of the park. Basically, that massive win from Lithgow pretty much just sets the tone again, doesn't it? You know, we're sitting at top of the league, aren't we? And we're just need to keep winning, really. I've stopped. Yeah, Fanny.
Wasn't it? I can't, from what I read, no everybody was giving Lithgow plaudits on at Dundonald on Saturday.
Well, you want me to go into it? You want to say a couple of bits about it? Because, well, if I look at it from a performance point of view, the Rose were dominant. They could have won it.
Did win it.
Let me finish what I was going to say. They could have won it by at least 3 or 4 goals.
I've seen the highlights.
I think the other stuff that Andy's kind of talking about is there was a supposed assault, there was a supposed fight at the tunnel, in the changing rooms, and on the pitch as well.
Cards.
There was meant to be 4 red cards appeared from somewhere. There's no actual official record of them on such that you can have a look online. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what the lineup against Boness is at the weekend. That is right, Lithgow versus Boness United.
Well, who says that it's not necessarily for you? It's obviously Dundonald.
I think it's Dundonald. I've seen some pictures. If you go on Facebook, there's pictures. Andrew West does the pictures for the Rose, and he posted them up. And basically, you see Sandy Cunningham, the wee striker up front, getting mauled to the ground. Like literally, I mean, full on like assault in the street kind of stuff. The police would probably come and lift you. If any almost gets kicked in the head, then another player comes over and he almost gets punched. So I can only assume it's for Dundonald.
Yeah, because you said on Saturday that it all went so quiet after the game. Like, we've not done it.
Very quiet. For at least, 20 minutes after full time, I'm thinking, what's the score?
Yeah.
It's still 1-0 after all this time. I'm thinking, oh, surely no.
Yeah, that's obviously what's happened as well. So it's one of these weird ones. But I mean, I think the top of that league's it's over. As much as I didn't want to admit it, as much as I've said in my piece on Pennycook and East of Scotland earlier. Hopefully,
Andy.
right. Anyway, hopefully one of the teams from the west of Scotland's licensed, because if they're not, then and we'll come on to them in the west as well. But
We will indeed.
hopefully they're licensed, because it means that there's going to be a playoff if it's not agreed that they're automatic, because if not, Lithgow will go up automatically.
Well, the Lithgows are licensed, that is for sure.
We know they're licensed because I watched them in the Scottish Cup this year.
I know, I'm just saying, but they've got the whole shebang, etc., etc. But again, what Kieran was saying earlier on is quite a good point, is if Lithgow do go up, right, say Lithgow go complete the whole way, Lowland League, the lot, that league is going to be some competitive league next year.
You can't split it between the teams, and it's like what I said. It's like what I said is that teams are going to have to really up their game. And the teams that can do that are obviously the likes of Pennycook, Musselburgh. I'd even go as far as looking down at the bottom of that league, like Hillabeef and Blackburn, like Tynecastle. These clubs are very much capable of turning their fortune around. Considering, they've toiled and stuff.
One of those three teams will be playing fucking First Division football next year.
What's that?
One of these three teams you've just mentioned will be playing First Division football next year.
Yep.
Well, no, I know, but this is the point that I'm making, though, is that even though they've really toiled this season, these clubs are still good enough clubs to get up to the top of the division. And they really should be doing so much better than what they are, but they've just had horrendous seasons. And the thing is, it's going to get even tougher, because in the First Division, I'm pretty sure it's Dunbar that are top at the moment in the First Division. And they're another team that's going to come in and cause serious amount of problems.
But they went down this season before, so it's all about how they build on that as well. But I think going down, I mean, the biggest thing in that East of Scotland league is as much. So Lithgow have won the league. Janefield, Socky, Musselburgh will be whoever finishes second. But then the teams that are obviously fairly leading are down. Oakley are down. And then you've got probably Hillabeef, Blackburn, Tynecastle, maybe even Inverkeithing as your fourth team. Inverkeithing. And there's 5 points between the four of them.
It's tight. It's really tight. That's what I'm saying. Hillabeef have got it on their hands.
And Hillabeef have got 3 games over there, all 3 of them.
Yeah, 3 games.
I think
one I was saying at the start, I think they're the one that's probably underperformed the most this season. Yeah. They've got some really good players, and they've always got the Rose trouble every time I've watched them. And I think they've caused Pennycook trouble over the years as well. And
Did you say Hillabeef?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we've got that's one of our games at hand. We've got to go there.
Yeah, it's such a hard place to go. It's such a tight pitch. It's not long either, and it's really close. Like the literally the railings are on the touchline, and that for them is their kind of holy grail. That makes them get results that they at least expect it. When it rains there, holy shit, man! Like it is a soggy pitch. It's like hoofball. Like you've got to. It's so bobbly. It's on a slope as well, and that's the kind of thing that they all know how to play on that. They know their strengths, and they caught Lithgow out last minute goal last time. And again, it's another team that the Rose should be beating. But again, they got that result against Musselburgh away from home. It just shows you that there is probably players in that team that have maybe underperformed this year.
Yeah, probably. Are we going to move on to the league below?
Well, I go for it. Aye, you got the tables in that there.
I've got the tables there. I mean, there's
go for the tables. You run it out.
Story we want to talk about in that one, but we'll go through it now. So
we'll go through it because it's good to talk about who's maybe going to come up.
So you've got Dunbar United and Newton Grange Star. They both came down last year.
Both really good teams and should be in the top league anyway.
Yeah, you'd imagine they should be. So they're first and second. You've got Canoe and Glenrothes third and fourth. Like Canoe are actually on the same points as Newton Grange Star, and Glenrothes are a point behind. You've got Luncarty on 35, Dunnipace and Kirkcaldy on 32.
Dunnipace, before you go any further, actually, Dunnipace is another one to watch out. They've got a good catchment there in the Stirling Southern District. And they've got a good manager under Danny Smith. They're one to watch for the future, I think.
Leith Athletic 25, Rosyth on 24. You've got Camelin on 22. We'll come back to them.
Yes, it's a special at the end of here.
We'll come back to Camelin.
Sorry, Sergenta. Sorry.
A little curse. Lockyer Welfare on 18. You've got Coldstream on 21. 21. You've got Coldstream on 18. You've got Whitehill on 15. You've got Burnt Islander on 14, but they've had 3 points deducted for a failure to fulfil fixture.
Failed to clear, aye.
Failed to clear as well, aye. Couldn't get anybody on. And Kennyway Star are on bottom of the league with 7 points, so they're probably gone already. You've got Whitehill Welfare at the bottom, just to go through the bottom of the league there. Whitehill are on, they've played 16 games. They've got 5 games on Coldstream, and there's 3 points between them. And they've got games in hand over most of the teams above them. So as much as they're bottom, they probably are probably going to, should get out of that at least, because you'd imagine that one of the teams are going to get above one of the teams.
Whitehill Welfare's this club in that league. I'd say in the whole East of Scotland, where there's just so many question marks, like what went wrong. Well, that's a club that they're the most successful team in the whole East of Scotland.
Yeah,
and now they've just fallen so far, but it's a shame. Like that's a club, and the thing is, they do have the benefit of obviously Hearts B playing there and keeping their pitch expenses down for them as well. So
one of these things is that growing up, and I've said this on this podcast before, is that they were never junior football. They were East of Scotland, which was always technically the seniors compared to the juniors.
Yeah.
So they were always in the They were in the qualifying cup for the Scottish Cup. They played Celtic. They were playing like the lower league teams quite regularly. They were winning East of Scotland titles very regularly. And then it just turned to, just as roughly around the same time the lower league was set up, before all these junior teams joined, it was turning, the tide was turning, everything was maybe going to more attention was going to Bonnyrigg Rose, things like that. Bonnyrigg Rose were getting a bit more money because obviously Rosewell Bonnyrigg, and then it just seemed to fall by the wayside. Bad decision after bad decision at Ferguson Park, and they've obviously fell like a stone. I think that they're bottoming out there now. I think they'll spend another season in that division, and I think they can come up. But it's such a sad sight for a team they probably should not be anywhere near the second tier of East of Scottish football.
I think another team that's going to toil in that league as well is Preston Athletic. I guess they're going to find life a lot more tougher now, because they were in contention for a promotion spot. They were battling off for Oakley last season, and they just lost out. Oakley obviously got promoted, but Preston, obviously being based in East Lothian, Tranent are obviously the more successful club in East Lothian at the moment. Dunbar look like they're going to be in the top division. Musselburgh are going to be in the top division. How much are people going to just sort of surpass Preston now? And like Ami's obviously touched on catchment areas. You're looking that there's more attraction in the top division. There's more to pick from in East Lothian there. No one's going to really be looking at Preston. There's also
things like that. Still pick Preston.
What's that?
There's still these things is that people will pick Preston because of the setup and everything else, doing the pants and stuff. So
they've got a phenomenal ground for the league that they're in, and like the facilities and stuff like that, and the way that the club advertise themselves as well is really, really good. But it's just the success in the park that's really let them down, and I feel like they shot themselves in the foot last season. They really should have got promoted last year, but I think it's going to hit them hard because their East Lothian counterparts and all of them are going to be more successful than what they are. There is another East Lothian club in there that's Hibs Training Centre is based in the town. What's the name of the club that's in that East of Scotland bracket?
No.
Ormiston, that's the one.
What's not in that? They're Ormiston are in that division though.
Aye, they're the league below.
Aye.
Aye.
Kieran, have you ever been to Ormiston?
I've never been to Ormiston.
I've been
No.
to Ormiston.
I think you maybe just go in it and come back out it, unfortunately.
And
Only good for the Hibs training centre.
Looks not even anywhere near it, to be honest.
I've been to Ormiston to watch the Rose, and it's a hut.
To be fair, it looks a nice wee setup.
It is. It's just not what you're thinking.
But I think we're digressing a little bit on this division. And do you want to go into the second division? Because I think the second division probably, there's a little bit of tie-in between this main story, but we could talk about the team for the first division and the second.
Yeah, let's merge it together. Let's go for it.
Okay, so you've got the second division. You have got Whitburn. They're on 56 points. They've played 22 games. You've then got St Andrews on 52.
Yep.
You've got Arniston Rangers on 46. Heriot Watt on 45. You've got Sagenta on 44. Mm-hmm. They've now got 3 or 4 games on hands on people. You've got Stirling Uni. They've got 43. Dalkey Thistle on 42. Now Stirling have obviously lost that. They've had 3 points deducted for an ineligible player start of the season. You've got Tweedmouth on 30. You've got Thornton Hibs on 28. Peebles Rovers on 26. Edinburgh South on 25. East Hills Lies on 25. Newborough on 20. Craig Royster on 17. Edinburgh United 15 with 3 points off. You've got the team that Kieran mentioned, Ormiston Primrose on 13. You've got Kelly Albert on 9 and Hoyk on 5.
Holwick.
We can throw shite at yourself. Anyway, so we have a bit of Whitburn running away with that league, I would say. It's going to be interesting how it unfolds because there's a team in that league that haven't played a game for a few weeks.
And they might not even be able to finish their season.
Might not finish the season. And Sagenta, where a few of the players have left Sagenta. I say a few. The sporting director has left Sagenta and has taken up at Camelin. We talked about this in a wee bit more detail last week because it was announced that the Sagenta juveniles were aware of this in January, that the East of Scotland team in under-20s were leaving the brand and were going to set up elsewhere. It then came about that a lot of the players left to go to Camelin, and Steve Ellison went to Camelin as well. And at that point, the juveniles then set up and went to Bonus Athletic. So it was Bonus Athletic they went to, wasn't it? I just want to make sure I've got that right.
No, Bonus Athletic.
The Sagenta juveniles.
First I've heard of that, so you could be right. Yeah, it was because the only clubs that I know that had been was Camelin, really.
Right. Anyway, so at this point, everything's. It was a big list of players I seen another day on Pie and Bovril, and you could tell when it went. It was Sagenta. Since Steve Ellison's come in, there's been lots of rumours and everything else about how this was all going to take place. Was Camelin staying in Camelin? Were they going somewhere else? He gave an interview, picked the most darkest point in the whole ground that he could find to go and stand in it. And he gave it different points. He was talking about there was 33 players in the books at one point, what they were going to do, could they get to the Lowland League, things like that. And to be honest, it was okay. It's one of his interviews, but it's not what he wanted to hear. I said when the one we recorded, we didn't actually say that if Steve Ellison hears this and he wants to have a chat about it, I'd love to have a wee chat and find out what everything that's happened. He's more than welcome to come on and we'd sit and have a wee chat with him as well. I would say that since then, as they have announced that they have, is it LK Galaxy are now going to Camelin?
Yeah, that's right. So Little Kerf's Galaxy, basically the facilities that are in Grangemouth. Me and Cammy had a geography debate about this one. Yeah. It's under Pullman, but it is actually in Grangemouth. But yeah, so Little Kerf's, if I remember right, has 2 full 11-a-side pitches. They also own, it's about 4 to 6 7-a-side AstroTurf pitches as well. So they've got loads of facilities there. They've got changing rooms, all that sort of thing. So they've been told, Camelin have got full exclusive access to all this now. Yep. For obviously their youth team, which is again they're expanding. They're now moving into the sort of Grangemouth area, and now taking in all that catchment area as well. So it's it's great move for them, I suppose, and they've really got the bonus ball with all the facilities that they've got for free now.
My biggest issue is why could they not just done why has he went to all this issue? My biggest thing is why has he went to the biggest issue? He's taking it to Camelin when he could have done it with Sagenta.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. It does. I know. The person.
What's that?
Sagenta are falling apart. Basically, that's why.
Yeah, but the thing is, he is Sagenta. He is Sagenta.
So that's why they're falling apart, because he left and took 8 or 9 players with him, and under 20 and some of the under 20s.
So is there something else going on in Sagenta that we obviously don't know yet?
It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
That makes you wonder. But from everything that we've read, is that basically he's left. He's told the juveniles who they take the name from that they're leaving, so the club are going to go somewhere else and rebrand. And then suddenly he's left. All these players have left away to Camelin. He's appeared at Camelin, and then basically Sagenta are still just basically a shell at the moment. So technically, somebody could have a whip round, try and create a board, sign some players, and then try and jump into that league as Sagenta, because Sagenta are just a shell of a club at the moment, and probably have to change their name at the end of the season anyway. And East of Scotland have been really quiet about everything, because they technically, as much as Pie and Bovril will tell you that they've withdrawn and everything else, they've technically not withdrawn, because nothing's happened. There's not been any announcements. There's not been any league refiguration, because they'll have to delete every score. So that changes the league as well. Because if you've beat Sagenta twice, if you manage to play them twice and you beat them, then you lose 6 points. So
does that happen?
Yeah, that's how it works.
If they get taken out of the league before the league campaign finishes.
Yeah, that's how it works. But
really? Wow. Fucking hell.
Finish the season, you would delete their score. So if you beat them twice, you deduct 6. You take 6 points off you.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's incredible.
Technically, you've got to. Well, it's not fair. You can't just give teams 3-0 wins or 1-0 wins, because it's not fair on the teams that have actually had to play them.
Yeah, that could impact a lot of things, because when you look at the table, it's still tight.
Yeah, it's tight.
And that could affect a lot of things.
Yeah, technically they've got 3 wins, 3 games at home, 3 games, and hand over people, but they're never ever going to play it, because they will fold at some point. But at least Scotland are really, really quiet anyway. So just whilst she was talking, on the 1st of February, Bowness Athletic announced that the Sagenta juveniles would have a partnership and development pathway.
Right.
The juveniles going into Bowness Athletic. So it's one of these, is that, so obviously they've known about the first team leaving and everything else, so they found a pathway for that, because that's what it was started for. The junior team was started as a pathway for the under 20s.
So I mean, I think unless Cammy has anything else to say, I think in terms of wrapping it up, that's now Bowness Athletic have taken the kids, Camelin have taken the youth, and they've taken half the first team. Sagenta are now in a position where they don't have enough players to play games. They've lost their sports director as well to Camelin.
Yep.
Camelin now have exclusive access to facilities that Sagenta could have used in their own original hometown, in Little Kerfs. Camelin very much on the up, growing, expanding, getting a bigger catchment area. Great positive direction for the club. However, the whole thing absolutely stinks. And the whole thing for Sagenta as a club, they look like they are on the brink of diminishing.
The thing is, just quickly, you're talking about that, but Camelin are only 7 points off the bottom of the league, and they've played less games than Whitehill. They've played more games than Whitehill. They've played more than Spartans. Technically, they've played one more game than Coach Team. So they're toiling, and they've picked 1 point out of 6 since this has all happened.
There's an amazing... Yeah, you're right. I'm looking at that as well. There's an amazing possibility that they could actually end up in the same league as Sagenta next season.
If Sagenta
are still existing.
The same league that Sagenta have just come for. All these players have jumped up to Camelin to bring them back down.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
thing is that these players at Sagenta were heading up to that division anyway. They were third, they were second, third in the league.
The only one I'd add to finish it off was that's exactly what you says. These are players that are played in this division below. They started off majority probably in the division below that, along with obviously Whitburn. They were the two that flying the season before. They're the teams that are flying now. This has all came about, and we're at the stage of Camelin. All the stuff that Andy and me spoke about maybe a couple of weeks ago is all now coming true. You know, the partnership with obviously Little Cares, the partnership with different players and coming in and rebranding Camelin as such, making a place to come back to watch football again. We're going to put an actual tough pitch down. Everything that we thought that we get told is being said. And the only thing we're waiting for is other news about Camelin going away from Camelin for a season or something.
Yeah.
And this is maybe the one that we're maybe thinking it's going bye-bye, you know?
Yeah.
But again, we'll wait and see what happens with that. And for me, I just feel that as you're saying about Sagenta are a team predominantly for youth set up years ago when I was growing up. And basically, it's a case of Camelin are the team that you make sense that he can maybe look at his vision that he wants. And he's probably going to get more of a vision that he wants with Camelin than it is taking Sagenta. And I think there's something else went behind the scenes, but if you had the option to say take over Camelin or stay with Sagenta, what are you going to pick?
Well, the thing is though, is it's kind of like what Andy's touched on, is that given the current state of affairs at the minute, Camelin aren't exactly safe, and this seems like a huge gamble. There's obviously more to it in the background in terms of the business side of things and what direction the clubs are going.
Yep.
Is there a sugar daddy coming in at Camelin? Quite obviously there is.
There's one. That's
that's what I mean. As Sagenta, their books obviously didn't look pretty, and that's why they can't afford a better offer to keep all of their players.
Yeah. I think they get relegated last year. Getting relegated last year took a big knock on. A bit massive knock on effect. And I don't think anyone expected Camelin to go down last year. They and Dunbar were probably the two shocks of that season, to be honest. But again, it all falls down by previous existing members of committees and boards and obviously ex-playing staff that were a problem to the regime that went on at Camelin. And a lot of stuff went on behind the scenes and money laundering supposedly and take money at the committee fund and it's crazy.
This kind of started though. Like I'll just make my one final point. Is like this is kind of what I said at the start. Is that this kind of all started when Sagenta were booted out of the Grangemouth Sports Arena, and then they've been homeless for about 3 years now. So it's probably since the start of lockdown, and they've been playing at Oakville View. So it seems like everything's just had a knock-on effect since then.
Yeah, it's a hard one because obviously Grangemouth Stadium's meant to be getting bulldozed. So what waste of ground that is. But Andy, finish it there.
I'm just getting over something's called the Grangemouth Sports Arena. But aye.
Yeah, it's a running track. It's got a football field in the middle, and the stand's pretty decent too.
Better than Middlebank.
So like Middlebank, but not as big.
Fun fact about that stadium is that 2 out of 3 of the supported teams out of us 3 played each other in a friendly at that stadium. I was at the game. It was Kelly v Livy. Livy beat us.
Wow.
It was fucking pish.
Wow.
Anyway.
I think I was at that game.
Aye, probably were.
A wee while ago.
Oh, it was... You're
Livy
talking...
would have been in the championship.
Nearly 8-9 years ago.
Aye, easy. Aye. Livy were putting a new pitch in that doing probably.
Aye.
The only place to play. Grangemouth. Yeah, let's move on.
So just to wrap up the East of Scotland League, we're going to quickly scan through the third division. We've obviously got the Media Stars, Bonus Athletic, cruising at the top of the league. They're on 61 points, netting in 132 goals in 22 games, which is just record-breaking stuff with their top goal scorer on 50-plus goals now, the Kelty Hearts star man. Armadale can't be really missed either, sitting second place. They've scored 85 goals in 23 games, which is also incredible and can't be overlooked. They sit on 53 points in second place. So it looks like Bo'ness and Armadale have pretty much wrapped up those two places. Considering Armadale have looks like I'm trying to get my mental maths here, a 14-point gap ahead of West Calder. West Calder sit in third place on 39 points. Edinburgh College in fourth place on 38 points. Pumferston, fifth place on 26. Livingston United, sixth place on 24 points with a point deduction this season. Wow, how many teams in East of Scotland have got horrendous track records of playing ineligible players? You have Bathgate, who have just managed to claw back from ninth place. They're now sitting in seventh. They've played 22 games. They sit on 23 points. Stonyburn in eighth place on 20 points. Falthouse have played ninth place on 18 points. And Hart Hill Royal, 10th place. They sit on 10 points. So just a quick one. Obviously, Bo'ness Athletic, we know, have a new birthed club who originally did come from Linlithgow. They've moved themselves into Bo'ness, changed the name, the whole dynamics and structure of the club, and play their games at Newton Park and ground share with Bo'ness United. So they have attracted the youth team from Livingston, and they've got a lot of their youth players now playing at the club, which is quite incredible considering the gaps in the leagues. So they've obviously got a sugar daddy sitting on a lot of money there at the moment. So it's going to be very interesting to see where the Bo'ness Athletic story goes into the future. But then we then go right down to the bottom of the league and we look at Hart Hill Royal, who sit at the foot of the East of Scotland, who have seriously toiled this season. We've seen some absolutely horrendous results for them, albeit at the hands of Bo'ness Athletic, actually. But Hart Hill Royal have... In fact, sorry, I've actually got that one wrong. Hart Hill Royal were the ones that have actually attracted the Livingston youth. So I've actually mixed up my words here. Bo'ness Athletic were the ones that have attracted the Syngenta juveniles. So they've taken up that catchment area from the other side and managed to actually pull away from Syngenta, and they've taken their kids on. And Hart Hill Royal have taken the Livingston youth on. So sorry, I got my words mixed up there, but there you go. So Hart Hill Royal have got the Livingston youth on their side, and as I said, considering the gap, and Bo'ness Athletic have got the Syngenta juveniles in their youth side. So again, considering the gaps, it is quite incredible when you think about it, the attraction that they've managed to pull into that league. So that pretty much wraps up for the third division of the East of Scotland.
So here we are in the final wee bit of this pod. It's the West of Scotland time. It's the one that is the tightest, and it's probably one of the most entertaining leagues in the lower league system. Well, some transfer news. Also, we did mention it on also the other podcast that's not been released. But Andy, Nicky Lowe has went to Clydebank all the way from Kelty. What a signing that is for Clydebank, I tell you.
That's definitely. But it's obviously something that's been easier for him for travelling.
Yep, 100%. There's something behind the scenes for his family, obviously, or personal reasons that he has mentioned at the start of the season. He would still be playing at Arbroath if it was still, everything was okay. David Syme, Kieran, well, you interviewed at Darvel, very nice guy, very open with us in the interview. We done for him before the Falkirk match. He cost 12k for Darvel from Kilwillen Rangers, and he's on loan to Troon to the end of the campaign. Interesting one, considering that Darvel look a bit heavy at the back without Megget playing, and then who comes in to fill that void. Let's see what their plan is. But again, he needs a bit of game time after his very bad injury to his cruise ship.
I thought he was speaking to Kieran. It's like, I don't want to deal with fucking anybody that comes to this club and fucked up.
Moved even further away in the west.
Sam Ellis, he comes from Stranraer, on loan to Darvel for a season and a half, technically. Left back, he's on loan until 2024. He goes to Darvel, you know. Another player, if we're talking about Darvel here, it's the one that's only making the transfers here. Another one, we did mention this in a wee bit more detail, but we'll just go quickly through it. Darren Miller, people might know him at Darvel. He leaves Darvel this time for the permanent transfer, as they say. So he's went from Darvel to Ben Bird,
Yeah,
back
that
to
was it.
Darvel, to Pollock, back to Darvel. Then he signed for St Cadix permanently. We were thinking, good move. A club that's on the rise a wee bit in the world of lower league football. And then 2 weeks later, he signs for Petershill. And by the way, that's not even a full season.
Yeah.
So let's see where he goes next week. He might decide to go back to Darvel. You never know. Mick Kennedy might want him back. So, yeah, interesting news. I mean, this isn't news for, obviously, west of Scotland. But, yeah, it is closer to the west and a wee bit to the north. We should have said it in the Highland League. But Cove, I've signed Michael O'Halloran on loan from St Johnstone, and Ali Crawford as well from St Johnstone have signed from Morton on loan. So, interesting too. Basically quite big players for a lot of non-league teams, to say the least. Darvel again showing their worth in the department to get guys in from the League One and League Two system.
Yeah.
West of Scotland, big results at the weekend. We will start off Clydebank 2, Cumbernauld United 0. Auchinleck again played in a cup, so their league games are racking up like Darvel's was last year. They have 6 games in hand against top of the league Beef, which is a crazy amount of games to fit in till now to the end of the season. And you never guess what? This weekend, they play in a cup again.
Yeah.
So they'll have 7 games, depending on the fixtures. I need to have a look again. But I just noticed Auchinleck was one of the ones again playing in a cup. Crazy amount of games to play. But again, same what Darvel did. Look what happened in this season. So look your eye out, Auchinleck Talbot. Basically, Clydebank are still in the mix. They still have a few games in hand as well. I mean, basically, they need to win all their games as well in hand. They've got 4 games in hand. But again, win all them, they're really into the title race as well, because when results go their way. Basically, the one that we're going to be talking about the most here now is Beef 2, Darvel 0. 7 points clear at the top, but Darvel do have a game in hand. Again, that game in hand does not mean much after the defeat.
Does it?
Yep, the defeat really did cost them this one, and again with Auchinleck's 6 game advantage to try and claw back makes it even more sickening for the team. Had a fantastic again Scottish Cup. Anyone want to watch a couple of vlogs? Give us a wee like and a follow for them, and give them a watch. Get a can of beer on them for a long ride. So, yeah, what are you thinking about this game? I said to Andy, I did think Beef would win. I really did. And again, Darvel just not performing well, eh?
I think what's mental is that technically speaking, there's games to play all across the board for all the clubs. The only club that's actually kept up to speed is Petershill.
Yep.
And they've played 23 games. So technically, when you look at that, Talbot have got 9 games in hand. Technically, if they're catching up with the matches played leaders. So it's, for me, it's Talbot. I think Talbot are going to do it. I think they're good enough. Seen them this season when they played in that big game against Pollock. I think they're going to claw it back, and I think they're going to win it. I think Beef are obviously, Andy can actually tell us a wee bit more about Beef and the licence rule. He seems to know a wee bit about that. It looks like they might toil. So I'm not too sure, but yeah, Darvel's biggest chance to turn this around. To be honest, yeah, the Beef game's massive, but I think it goes back to probably the Arthurley result when they just after the cup game.
Well, here's
and
the one for you, Kieran.
Lost out to them.
2 wins, 1 draw, and 2 defeats throughout February.
It's been a shocker of a month for them since they and everything else. It's just went.
For what they want to do and for where they want to be, that's not good enough. It's not good enough, and the teams are getting beat by again. The Beef game you can understand, that's fine, but the Ufferley one and the defeat by what do you call it? Halford as well.
Yeah.
But also, this is just for February results. So 2 wins, a draw, and 2 defeats. They play Cambuslang Rangers at the weekend.
It's the downfall of their own success, really. And I think, given their Scottish Cup run and the media attention that they've attracted,
Yep.
I think it's just the pressure that's got to them. And I think a lot of people forgot how tough this West of Scotland league is. And again, it's another one of these where, say if Talbot come up, you've still got Darvel, Pollock, Clydebank, Hurlford, Irvine Meadow. I mean, even Cambuslang have really fallen for grace a bit, because Cambuslang really should be up there. Kilwinning should be up there. Petershill look like a club that they could maybe make a comeback, but this season's just not falling for them. But wow, just what a tough league. And as Talbot come up, it's anyone's game.
So the difference between obviously Darvel winning and losing now has been a big factor in Beef's rise up the table. Last 5 games, so Beef 4 wins and a draw. It just shows you still getting points on the table without any defeats.
Yep.
And Auchinleck again, as I said, they missed out a cup match as they play East Kilbride this weekend. That's the team they're playing. So it just shows you the teams, as I said, Clydebank's still just in it in the mare, depending on results. Auchinleck are the team to watch, as we says. Andy, you want to share a wee bit of light? Obviously, this is not fact and part and parcel of real facts that we talk about here on Park the Bus. This is just a wee thing, but we're thinking because Beef don't have floodlights, they do not have a licence to get the league.
Well, that's fact. They do not have an SFA licence, which means that should they win this league, so should somehow Talbot lose 2 of the games in hand, and they're champion. If Beef become champions, Beef would not be eligible for promotion to the Lowland League, the same way that the winners of the currently Creetown and the South of Scotland are not eligible for the promotion. It's exactly the same thing, which automatically means that the only team eligible would be the winners of the East of Scotland. So Beef would not get the playoff. Now, from what we can see, one of the reasons they may not have it is floodlights. So I don't know how long it takes for a licence. I'd imagine it's quite costly just to even apply for the licence. I don't think it probably is going to be possible to get it done in 2 months. You never know.
Yeah, I know. It seems a bit confident.
Especially well, this is the thing. It depends on are you going to obviously, because you've got to get the work done as well. So is it floodlights? You've got to get the floodlights installed. You've then got to put the proposal to the SFA, and the SFA have got to come out and inspect everything, and then give you the all clear, because it's different to the time it happened with Bonnyrigg, because Bonnyrigg initially got their application rejected, but there was only one place eligible at that time because Stranraer Reserves won the South of Scotland, the West of Scotland were still juniors.
Yep.
And it was a 3-way playoff between Pennycook, Broxburn, and Bonnyrigg. Broxburn and Pennycook actually had licences. Bonnyrigg, they had theirs rejected. And then basically, I think most of the work was already done with the floodlights. And then it was done, it was granted very late on, and like start of June, I think it was, and they said that, right, okay, they're going up. But I think this was something that was already in place, it had already been applied for and already been worked. So again, it's one of these things, is how long is it going to take for, if Beef decide look like they're going to be up there, how long is it going to take to get the floodlights installed? How long is it going to take to pitch this to the SFA and get this? You never know. It might be something that can be done. I think for football, it'd be good if it was something that could have been done so that they can get it. But you never know. You never know. But at the moment, Beef don't have a licence, which means that Talbot, if Lithgate would go up, because Lithgate are going to win the East of Scotland.
Cammy loved that.
If they fucking don't win the East of Scotland,
there's something far wrong, eh?
Cammy's going to end up resigning for this podcast.
I've just not bothered sport and football together, eh? But yeah, I think that'll sum up pretty much what's happening in the West. I mean, relegation-wise, I don't really know too much about the rest of the teams, to be honest. Right? Let's put it that way. There's teams down in the second division that we could talk about all day. But we'll all leave that for our podcast, a dedicated lower league pod that we do like doing, that goes into more depth and detail of top goal scorers and things like that. We'll all be doing in the future.
And we'll definitely put it up.
Yes, we'll put it up. Yes. But this one, we like to do a wee bit of mixture. We'll stay away, obviously, from a few. We'll just finish it up just quickly. What do you fancy about the League Cup? League Cup obviously finished Celtic 2, Rangers 1. Is it any surprise that Celtic are still dominant in these cups?
No, I think I'll start off.
Just a quick sum up. Didn't you think because you got a quiz, Andy?
No.
You want to do one?
Nah, I'm alright. Unless you want to quickly get one.
I'll do one. Like, you could say your bit, Kieran, and then we can do a wee quiz at the end, pal.
Yeah, I had 22 trophies in 11 years. The banner got held up at full time, and it summarises everything up. Obviously, the Rangers fans had their say with the 2 trophies in 11, which is also actually not true, because I think Rangers have actually won 6 trophies in 11 years, but hey ho, they didn't count all the Diddy ones. Because they're a successful club and all that, mind you. But we'll not get into that. But I think that Celtic just cemented their dominance, and I think it's
fairy tale. Market 50-60 million pounds spent over the last couple of years. Aye, fucking fairy tale, isn't it? Absolute fairy tale.
Yeah, it's 6 out of 7 League Cups in the last 7 years. And do you know what? I think the thing is, Celtic have proved that they're the best domestically. I think now you need to. I don't think it's so much more about the League Cups anymore. I've kind of been saying this for a wee while, and I brought this up to my Rangers and Celtic buddies, is that they're not far away from breaking the records of this. They sit on 52 league titles, Rangers on 55. We know that that's Rangers' biggest bragging rights. Celtic are now only 6 League Cups behind Rangers. At one point, Rangers were it was 13 ahead. So the records are starting to get caught up a wee bit, and I think that's what this is about now, for Celtic, and it's about catching Rangers. So in this decade, they've definitely done it. They've gave themselves a massive stepping stone in doing that. So, but and the thing is as well, I think finally you had the 2 assists came from Maeda and Hatate. The goal scorer Kyogo scored both of them. 3 Japanese players all involved in the two goals.
I think
it just tells you everything about. Like, do you know what? Everyone has their opinion on Postecoglou. I have mine, but the guy knows how to pick a player, and fair play on it to him on that.
I think that Bale made an absolute James Hunt on Sunday, like a proper James Hunt.
I just don't think Bale's a good manager. I just don't think he's.
I don't think they've been playing well, but at the same time, they got themselves back into the game, and then he takes Morelos off. Right, yeah. And from what I'm reading, some of the comments, and you pick up and stuff, you're just like, his formation wasn't right. It was, I think for everything that he done well in the first Old Firm game, these first Old Firm game, I think he just made an absolute James Hunt of it. And Celtic's, we talk about Celtic's depth. I thought Rangers could come out and win it. I thought that Rangers would maybe step it up. I thought as much as Celtic have been good, I thought, is this the time they come forward? But I think that he could be the reason they maybe don't. But at the same time, I think that we'll soon see. We'll see that Celtic have got all this money. They've banked all this dough over the years. They've got this turnover. They've coming in. How does anybody compete? Rangers at the moment are struggling to compete with that. Is it the inconsistency at the boardroom? Is it inconsistency as manager? Is it inconsistency in different places? Maybe. So I think that Celtic have got this advantage. I think the Rangers, the troubles at Rangers didn't help, and I think Celtic have been able to bank all this money to spend. Yes, Postecoglou has managed to pick players from Asia like nobody else has managed, but that's probably down to experience, if you know what I mean. So he's worked there. He knows what these kind of players. He's not just picking the players, if you remember some of the ones that have come over, with the exception of Nakamura. Not many have come over here previously and done well. So, yeah, give him credit for that. But at the same time, when you can spend all this, when you can spend money easily, as much as they're spending, even compared to Rangers, of course you're going to win a fin.
Yep, agreed.
So it's that time of the night. It's quiz night. It's my turn. I'm going to host it this time. Oh, Kieran's decided to turn into Neil Lennon if you're watching on YouTube. Andy, you like to turn into anyone else?
I'm fine.
So for this quiz, I'm going to host it. It's the same as we always do. It's guess who the player is by me reading out the teams that he has played for, or maybe she has played for, and basically we're going to go through that. They can guess. If they need any clues, I can maybe give them a couple to get the answer. So who's wanting to go first?
You.
Andy could go first.
Let's start off with the first player, right? We're going for Nantes B, Cambridge United, Northampton Town on loan, Wrexham, Tamworth, Partick Thistle, Cowden Beef, Rafe Rovers, TPS Turku, Livingston, Gateshead, Stranraer, Alloa Athletic, and finished his career in 2012-2013 at Stranraer. Who am I? Ethan. Stop.
What's the most professional podcast I've ever seen? So for anybody that's listening on audio medium, Kieran has turned his picture from Neil Lennon arguing in a press conference to Neil Lennon trying to put his kit on, his Champions League kit on. That's about 4 times too small for him.
It's fucking got Cal McGregor's kit on. Look, 42.
Right, go and read the teams out again.
Right, so Nantes B,
Mm-hmm.
Cambridge United, Northampton Town, Wrexham, Tamworth, Partick Thistle, Cowden Beef, Rafe Rovers, TPS Turku, Livingston, Gateshead, Stranraer, Alloa Athletic, finished in 2012-13 at Stranraer.
What year was it, Livingston?
2009, one season.
TPS Toku, where they fit?
Don't know. He played there for 2 seasons.
Um,
Turkish.
they sound Turkish.
No, Finnish.
All right. Close enough.
Yeah.
Right, I'll
Half
give you
not.
another clue.
Uh-huh.
He is only 39 years old now. He retired obviously in 2013. His best club he played for was at Stranraer.
His best?
Yep, his best time on his whole career was at Stranraer. He is French. He's a striker.
I got that. I've not got a fucking clue.
Nah,
6'7".
A friend, that.
He's 6'7".
You're going to win your own game here. I have not got a clue who that is.
Kieran, any guess at all? You should know this player very fondly, Kieran, because he's at the same time you supported Livy.
2009 French striker.
6'7".
That means nothing to me.
Right, I'm going to beat my point here then.
What league were you in?
Championship.
First division.
This is when Masoni was in charge.
Honestly, mate.
It's the father of the player that plays that scored the goal for Hamilton.
Armandoni?
Yep.
Oh. He was French.
It's French, aye.
Was he?
Born in France. Well, 1-0 me, eh?
Arnon Nantes, that gives it away, but like I generally wouldn't have got that at all, mate.
No? Right, anyway, Eddie.
Yeah.
So, next player, still playing. So, he started at Aberdeen, Peterhead on loan, Peterhead transfer, Queen of the South, Rangers, Bury, Dunfermline Athletic,
Andy.
Dundee United,
Andy.
Yep.
Nicky Clark.
Yep, well done. I've got to add a couple, 2 or 3, that's alright, eh? Right, next player. I'm retired. Heart of Midlothian, Aberdeen, Watford.
Andy.
Yes.
Got Severin.
Yes, it is. So, next up. I'm retired. Hamilton, Academical, Livingston, Greenock Morton Loan, Greenock Morton Transfer, Airdrie United, Ayr United, Queen of the South, Peterhead, Ayr United again, Clyde, Albion Rovers, Edu Sport Academy,
which is now the Philip Braves.
Yep, and Steny, and he's retired.
Retired. Colin Andy.
Yes.
Colin McMenamin.
No.
What a guess.
It is actually for the amount of teams he's been to. I think Colin McMenamin either spent 6 months or like almost a year. Decided to quit almost before every end of the season and went, I'm not playing here anymore. Kieran, you got a guess?
Not a fucking Scooby.
Played for Livingston in 2002 and 5. Part of the heroic CIS Cup winning team.
Right, okay. We go through. He's got another guess, but read the team. He's got to guess first before I can go.
Hamilton, Livingston, Morton, Airdrie, Ayr, Queen of the South, Peterhead, Ayr, Clyde, Wee Rovers, Edu Sport Academy, Steny.
That's just a guess. When did they retire?
2020.
Kieran. Alex Williams?
No.
No. No.
Give me the teams once more.
Hamilton, Livingston, Morton, Airdrie, Ayr, Queen of the South, Peterhead, Ayr, Clyde, Albion Rovers, Edu Sport Academy, Steny.
What position does he play?
He was technically a midfielder / kind of winger cam player.
Winger. Once more.
Hamilton, Livingston, Morton, Airdrie, Ayr, Queen of the South, Peterhead, Ayr, Clyde, Rovers, Edu Sport Academy, Steny.
No,
His initials are S for his first name, and his last name starts with an M.
Kieran.
Yes.
Scott Mitchell?
No.
No, it's not. He was a wee bit later. Never mind.
Scott.
Give you Scott.
Scott Morrison.
Andy again.
Yeah.
Scott McLaughlin?
Yes.
I've no clue who that is, but I'm just taking...
Scott McLaughlin. He won the League Cup with us.
I'll be honest, I couldn't pick that player out if it was just him.
Fair enough. Well, I'm assuming that's 2-0.
It's 3-0, mate.
It's 3-0.
How 3-0?
Scott Severin. Scott Severin, Nicky Clark, and Scott
Nicky
McLaughlin.
Clark, that's a good point, aye. So, let's go for... let's go for him. Right, Kieran, switch on here, this one, right? Millwall, Eastbourne Borough, Croydon Athletic, Concord, AFC Bournemouth, Woking, Lewes, Hereford, Falkirk, Sheffield United, Partick, Scunthorpe, Partick, Wimbledon, Charlton, Forest, Birmingham City. Still playing.
Is it still playing at Birmingham?
Yes. On loan from Forest. Kieran, you rave about this fucker all the time.
Yeah, I don't care.
And he was at Falkirk for only one season.
My brain's at my
2012 and
arse tonight.
2013.
Repeat the teams again.
Millwall, Eastborough, Croydon, Concord, Bournemouth, Lewes, if that's how you say it, Woking, Hereford, Falkirk, Sheffield United, Partick, Scunthorpe United, Partick, AFC Wimbledon, Charlton, Nottingham Forest, Birmingham City.
Who the fuck has went for Falkirk 10 years ago?
Does he play for Scotland?
He's English.
I rave about him all the time.
You raved about him before.
What position does he play?
He's a striker. For Falkirk, he played 34 games, scoring 24 goals in the championship. Yes.
Well, Taylor.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Let's
He
go
was
for this
fucking
one.
class.
Banter Victoria, Motherwell, Partick Thistle, Motherwell. I am retired. So Blantyre Vicks, Motherwell, Partick, Motherwell.
When did he retire?
2012.
Oh, Aggie up.
You're not in the mood, are you?
I don't have a fucking clue.
Keith Lasley.
Similar. Who's the other one that's a crazy amount of games and crazy amount of...
Stephen Craigan.
Yes.
Oh, you fucking beauty.
Right, let's go for the last two. Fuck it, let's just do it. So, Nottingham Forest, Bradford City, Red Bull Leipzig, West Brom.
Andy.
Yes.
Ollie Buck.
Yep. I knew you'd get that one, no. Right, last one. Gretna, Queen of the South, Livingston, Austria's FK, Airdrieonians, Rafe, Dumbarton, Cowdenbeath, Tranent. Gretna, Queen of the South, Livy, Austria Sounds, or what do you call it? They're Swedish, by the way. Airdrieonians, Rafe Rovers, Dumbarton, Cowdenbeath, Tranent. He joined Tranent this season.
Oh.
His best time in his career was at Livingston.
I fucking can see him. I know who it is because we would have chatted about him in the chat.
Yep. His nickname's Mango.
Oh, fuck off.
He is a defender.
Again. I can't.
He played for Rafe between 2014 and 17. Only played 39 games.
When did he play for years?
2010-13. Won 2 league titles. Oh, sorry, one. Can't mind. 1 or 2.
What's the teams once more?
Gretna, Queen of the South, Livy, Osthusen Sounds, FK, Airdrie, Rafe, Dumbarton, Cowdenbeath, Trinette.
Oh, fuck off.
Not a clue. I
Give me,
can't. I can't mind his name.
give me the initials.
His surname's a famous drinks company. Oh, wait the fuck, man. Surely you ken what I'm talking about.
A famous drinks company.
Yeah.
Well, Foster, Tennants, McEwen,
Oh my god. Does it have to relate to alcohol?
Brew, Cola, Monster, Bull, Prime.
Honestly, I cannot fucking
Big
think.
bar.
Big bar, of course it is. Honestly, fuck. Right.
Well done, Andy, for winning by default because Kieran really couldn't be arsed tonight, eh?
Aye, fucking. How many Kelly players did you put in there, you prick?
I just did what you did the last time.
3x Livy and 2x Hearts. Jesus Christ.
Anyway, we are sponsored by Starner. Starner is an independent fashion brand from Scotland. We create high quality and stylish attire for on and off the terraces for you. Inspired by the terrace culture, lifestyle, and music, all of their clothing is designed using quality materials and workmanship to combine the very best style and fit for yourself. All this means you get premium quality fashion at affordable prices while enjoying a simple and secure service. It's that simple. So visit www.starnerapparel.co.uk. The link will be below. And also, you get 10% off with Park the Bus promo code. It's Park the Bus Pod. And the description is below and in the heading of the video. If you are obviously listening first for the audio and obviously Spotify, etc., you will get it in the description. So thank you very much for listening, obviously. It's been a pleasure. As always, Mr. Armour misses out tonight, but again, he will be back soon. So, Mr. Dixon, any last words you want to say?
Just remembering, give us a like and subscribe and catch our vlog on the Hearts Hibs women's game from Sunday there. And if you want to hear how the intro should sound, then just watch my daughter as she nails it better than we've ever nailed it.
Brilliant. Neil Lennon, anything you want to
say? I'm ready for my bed.
Ready for a big day tomorrow, eh?
Ready for a pint some more, Cammy. Looking forward to it. Good catch up. We should do another pissed podcast.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan, doesn't it?
But
pies and pints.
I enjoyed that tonight, actually. That was actually nice. That
was a nice one. It was good. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Also, if you do listen on YouTube and watch it on YouTube, it's up to yourself. Do what you like. But again, give us a like, a follow, and subscribe, and share it to your pals. Also, if you do listen on streaming sites, do the same thing. Give us a 5-star review. Give us a wee like on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're on the whole shebang. We post very regularly about our adventures in Scottish football from up and down the country. So it's a bye from me.
It's a bye for us.
You're not very good, by the way. Fucking shite, bye.